Welcome back, you wonderful people, and we're going to get started. Let's get Godot on our computer. Now, for this video, I'm going to assume you're using a PC. If you're using a Mac, Ben has a video for that. Now, if you're using Linux, I'm going to assume that you're a little more comfortable with file structures and how to do this, but honestly, you could probably just follow the PC version and go from there. So what do we need to do today? Well, first we have to figure out where we're going to get Godot. And the next thing we need to do is figure out which version to get. Now, there are two places that you could get Godot. Actually, there's a few more, but two big places. There's Steam, and then there's the GodotEngine.org website. So let's look at them and figure out what the advantages and disadvantages of each are. So, here we are over in Steam, and let's make this nice and big. Where's my mouse? There it is, nice and big. Fantastic. Here we are in Steam, and we need to find Godot. So I'm going to go to this search bar thing, and I'm going to type in Godot, and I'm just going to press there. I'm just going to click this button. On my screen it says use now. On yours it might say install. Completely free. Press it, and it's going to get going. Simple as that. If it asks you what folder to put it in your default Steam folder, it's fine. Now, why would I want to use the Steam version? Well, if I don't really care too much about using C#, it's the main reason, and I just want a nice quick install with no worrying about it, with all of the templates and export templates. It's just done, don't worry about it, just give me the whole thing. That's how I'll do it. This is actually the larger file, 615.1 megabyte for this version. But what if I want a little bit more control over this, or I don't have a Steam account? Well, for that, I'm going to open my web browser of choice. In my case, Chrome. There's my lovely browser bars, and I'm going to go to GodotEngine.org, and I'll put the link for you in the resources. So here we are on the Godot website. Lots of fun things we can do, great community here, but what I care about is download. We have three separate tabs, a separate Linux thing, it supports Linux out of the box, and the Windows version. Main thing I need to worry about here is, do I want to be able to use C#? Now, you can always install this version later and re-import your game. Personally, I'm not going to be using the C#. I'm going to be using GDScript. Ben will be using it. If you want the mono version, the version with C#, this is where you're going to be. 64-bit or 32-bit, that's to do with your operating system. I'm using Windows 10 64-bit, so I would get the 64-bit version. If you don't have a 64-bit machine, get the 32-bit. A quick couple of tips. The latest version, as of recording, is Godot 3.0.2. Any version after that should work fine. However, if for some reason you want to go back to previous version, you can find the previous versions right here. It says you can find previous releases here and here. If you have Scoop, you could also do that. I don't. I'm not going to worry about that. If I wanted to use the C# version, I need the correct version of Mono. Now, this is being patched at the moment, but at the time of recording, you need to be very careful here. For the Mono version, you need Mono SDK 5.4x. Later versions will not work. Now, this is in the pipeline, it is getting fixed, but if you're having trouble loading it up, downgrade your Mono to 5.4. However, I want the 64-bit version, so I'm going to download it. And here it goes, and 30 seconds. And while that's downloading, let's take a quick look at the Steam version. So I'm going to reopen my Steam and launch Godot Engine. And it's done. That's the entire install. Here is Godot ready to go. Because I've got the Steam version, it downloaded all of these demo projects. So I could, for instance, go and look at an example of a GUI in 3D or circle pops and a whole bunch of other things. You could also look at these templates, a whole bunch of templates in here. Great stuff to look at. We're not going to be using too many of these, but that's what your thing will look like. Now, back over to our download. I've got the zip file here. I'm just going to open it up. And here we have Godot version 3.02 stable Win64. Great. So now I need to put this someplace. So I'm just going to cut this, and I need to put it in my programs folder. In my case, that's on my D drive. And it's under Programs, and I'm just going to make a new folder and call it Godot. So all I've done is I've taken the exe file from inside the zip, put a new folder, and I'm just going to paste that in there. Okay, so here is my tiny, tiny, tiny exe. How do I install this? You don't. That's the entire engine. If I open this, here is Godot. Now, you won't have all of these projects here, right? These are all of my demo projects. You'll have an empty thing here. If it asks you, do you want templates? Not especially. So, assuming yours is empty and you're ready to go, let's go over the challenge slide. My challenge for you is to download and install Godot. Grab a copy of Godot 3.02 or later and install it. You could get it from Steam, you could get it from the Godot engine. If you've sat all the way through and you're a Mac user, I commend your patience. Ben's coming up with how to install for a Mac. Meanwhile, we'll see you in the next video.